Hey everybody. So the REIN 3.0 from Cloud Defense dropped, and we're out here to review it tonight. On my 100-yard range, we've got the 2/3 IPSC steel targets down there, spaced 3 meters apart. And we've got some cloud cover. We got a snowstorm coming in, supposedly. So pretty decent moon, but good cloud cover. I can just see the trees kind of, the tops of them backlit by the skyline from the town about 20 miles away. So overall, it's a pretty dark night. Not that this camera is picking that up, but just kind of setting the scene here. This is my Streamlight HLX, and I always use it as a foil for these comparisons. I like it because it's pretty ubiquitous. It's a very good light, and a lot of people have them. You know, they're about 80 bucks on Amazon, give or take, maybe less if you can catch them on sale. And they're just a great light, really handy. You know, a lot of people are not a huge fan of them, you know, from the sense of, oh, made in China or, you know, whatever. But for a cheap, durable do-all light, for a handheld, I love them. They're great. So now that we've done that, let's pull out the REIN 3.0. I'm going to set this one down and grab our 3.0 here. All right. The 3.0. Lot tighter beam. The spill is less, but it's still very usable. Beam color is a little bit cooler than previous offerings from Cloud Defensive, but still on the warmer side. The hot spot is a little bit larger than, you know, the full roughly 10 meters. Yeah, it kind of dimmed a little there. I saw that little step down to it. Still a pretty solid beam. Let's compare this to the REIN 2.0. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm trying to, this is a 2.0 micro, by the way. You'll have to forgive me, I'm trying to juggle the camera and two lights. That's fun. But anyway, here is the 2.0 micro. You notice the rings there in the beam. Pretty beast. So we're gonna switch between them. I'm trying to figure out how best to hold this. Okay, here is the 3.0 for comparison. Get my finger out of the way of the camera. No ring in the beam at all, solid cutoff. I know a lot of people didn't like the aesthetics of the 2.0 and the rings, the blue rings. Okay, now we're on back to the 2.0 micro. Very similar beam profile, a little bit larger spill it looks like for the micro. It does appear to have a larger spill. That's the 3.0 again. And something I wasn't very upfront about with this, that has been the 3.0 micro on CR123s. It's a dual fuel light, and I know a lot of people wanted to know how that dual fuel stacked up, and I think that's where our initial little dimming hit came from in the beginning, was the draw. This is a very power-hungry LED, and that draw kind of got stepped down off those fresh CR123s. So at this point, y'all are probably pretty nonplussed about the 3.0's performance, and, you know, oh my gosh, I can't believe Cloud released that, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, here this thing is with an 18650. It's an absolute monster. I measured the lux on this at 1 meter at 120,000 on instant on. That same meter got the 2.0 micro at about 73,000 instant on. You can see this thing is an absolute powerhouse with that 18650. Large hotspot. The spill just absolutely punches down range. There's just no comparison. Here is the 2.0 micro. You can see the difference there. Let me switch them both on. No question whatsoever about which one's pushing more everything downrange. Absolute monster. The 18650 really pushes this light into another league as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of like it's got lumens, it's got candela, it's got spill, it's got lux. You can see the beam is a little bit wider than the 2.0 micro. My camera's having fun trying to focus there. Sorry I kind of scared y'all a little bit there, but nobody really reviews the dual fuel performance of these. There we go. That remote tail switch is kind of in the way. Absolutely dominates. Anyway, I'm sorry about that little small bit of suspense that we had there. Now that you know what's going on, I would like to run it again in the dual fuel mode and compare it heads up with the micro. Sorry I scared y'all with that. I understand that was kind of stressful for people who bought one or are considering buying one or have one in the mail and are really excited about it. But what impresses me most is just how effective that light was in the dual fuel setting or mode or whatever you want to call it. So here it is again in dual fuel. And there is our micro with its, 18350. These lights are very similar, and on the lux meter, they read pretty similar. In dual fuel, this one, the 3.0, had an instant on of in the mid 50,000 lux range at 1 meter, and the micro at 70,000, 73, 74,000. 15,000 lux, you may not really notice that in the real world. Looks like the 3.0 just stepped down a little bit, and the hotspot's a little smaller in dual fuel mode, but we're getting not quite as much punch there. I mean, you can definitely tell it's lesser, but if you compare this dual fuel to something, something else, it's still really impressive. I mean, it offers flexibility and gives you the ability to run a set of CR123s if that's all you've got. Say you go to a training class and for whatever reason you didn't you threw your kit in the car and didn't bring your other 18650s with you. You can go to Walmart and buy yourself some CR123s and still get your training in, or whatever the situation is that resulted in you not having what you wanted. So here it is in 18650 mode, as it were, versus our HLX. You see, it absolutely crushes that 1000 lumen HLX. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for any kind of emotional damage the beginning of this video may have caused. I'm not responsible for it. You chose to click. And as always, go out there, shoot stuff, be safe, y'all.